All right, let's get into a real masterpiece of psychological suspense. Today, we're taking apart Dennis Lehane's Shutter Island. And let me tell you, this book pretends to be a mystery, but it's actually something way deeper. It's a chilling journey into the maze of the human mind.
We have to start right here with this one question. It's the very last line of the book, and it is absolutely haunting. Honestly, this single sentence is the key to everything, and once we're done here, you'll really feel its devastating power.
So, how does Lehane even start a journey like this? Well, he's clever. He starts by building what looks and feels like a classic detective story. He gets us all comfortable and settled in before, boom, he pulls the rug right out from under us.
Right away, the mood is just electric. You got your tough-as-nails hero, Teddy Daniels, rolling up on a boat to this fog-covered island. His job? Solve a crime that seems literally impossible. And this place? Ashecliffe Hospital. It just looms there, basically screaming secrets and isolation. It is the perfect pressure cooker for a story.
And this is so important to get. Lehane isn't writing your typical mystery where you follow clues from A to B to C. No. The whole story is built like a spiral, heading straight down. With every single chapter, you're not getting closer to the truth. You're just sinking deeper and deeper into confusion and paranoia, right there with Teddy.
And it doesn't take very long for that supposedly simple investigation to just start falling apart. Little cracks start to show up everywhere, revealing that something way more sinister is bubbling just under the surface.
I mean, look at this. It's just one roadblock after another for Teddy. The staff won't give him a straight answer. Important files? Whoops, they vanished. The patients he talks to just give him these weird, cryptic warnings. And then, to top it all off, a hurricane hits and traps him on the island for real. That claustrophobia just becomes overwhelming for him and for us, the readers. You can't help but think there's a huge conspiracy going on.
And here's the really brilliant part. The way Lehane writes the story becomes part of the mystery itself. The whole thing is broken up by these intense dreams Teddy has of his dead wife and these awful flashbacks to his time as a soldier in World War II. And believe me, these aren't just for backstory. They're the cracks forming in his own mind. Which brings us to the real heart of the novel. See, the mystery of the missing patient, it's kind of a red herring. The real investigation, the one that truly matters, is the one happening inside Teddy Daniels' head. You have to understand, Teddy isn't just some detective on a case. He is a profoundly traumatized man. He's carrying all this weight from the war, especially the unbelievable horrors he saw at the Dachau concentration camp, plus all the grief from his wife's death. This trauma, it's not just what drives him, it's the lens through which he sees his entire world. And this all leads to a classic trick in literature that Lehane just nails perfectly. Teddy Daniels is the definition of an unreliable narrator. Since we see everything through his eyes, through his broken perspective, we trust him completely. We believe in the conspiracy because he does. We're right there with him, trapped inside his delusion. Okay, so we've set the stage. The paranoia is cranked up to 11. And now we get to the moment the entire book pivots on, the big twist that completely changes the meaning of every single word you've read so far. Seriously, just think about that for a second. What if this whole investigation, this big conspiracy, what if it's not a real case to be solved at all? What if it's just a story, a piece of fiction made up for a very specific reason?
Here it is, the truth. Teddy Daniels isn't a real person. He's a construct, a complete fantasy, an incredibly elaborate role play cooked up by the hospital staff as a last-ditch, radical effort to treat their most dangerous patient.
And this is the gut punch. The man we've been following, Teddy Daniels, is actually Andrew Lattice, patient 67. He's not a U.S. Marshal here to investigate a crime. He's an inmate who committed a truly unthinkable one. And his partner, Chuck? That's not his partner. That's Andrew's main doctor.
This twist isn't just there for shock. Not at all. It's a key. It completely reframes the entire story, and it makes you want to go right back to page 1 and see how every weird clue, every unhelpful doctor wasn't a sign of a conspiracy, but part of this huge therapy session playing out in real time. So, with the truth finally out in the open, the book just leaves us there to wrestle with these really big, unsettling ideas. And that, right there, is where the story's real genius is. At the end of the day, this book was never really about solving a crime. It's asking us these huge questions about reality versus illusion and how our minds can literally reshape our memories to deal with trauma. It's about how far the human brain will go,
how it will bend and twist and even break reality to protect itself from a truth that's just too horrible to live with. Andrew Laketis invented Teddy Daniels, so he wouldn't have to live with his own guilt.
And so we come all the way back to this line. In those last moments, it seems like Andrew has finally accepted the truth. But then, he says this to his doctor. Is he just falling back into his fantasy? Or, and this is the chilling part, is he choosing the fantasy? Is he knowingly choosing a lobotomy because living with the truth of what he did, living as that monster, is just unbearable? He chooses to die as the good man, Teddy Daniels.
And that's the question Shutter Island leaves hanging in the air. This isn't just a story about some guy on an island. It makes you look at your own life and ask, what stories do we tell ourselves to get by? What painful truths do we look away from? And what comforting lies do we choose to believe instead? It's a thought that really sticks with you long, long after you finish the book.